the illusion. Report from somewhere on spaceship Earth. It's Sober Wednesday here in the dream. Yo, in the dream. In the dream. Again, I was running super busy doing. Trying to get everything accomplished one moment at a time, and of course I'm completely unorganized, so bear with me a second as I get said camera coordinated here. Let's see, will this work? I think this is it. I think I got it. I think we got it. Look at that. We got the goats when they circle back around in the mix. Yeah, my God, is that we got it. All right, so Sober Wednesday, we made another one. It is today, Sober Wednesday, the last Sober Wednesday of July 2022. This hour is dedicated to those who suffer from addiction, alcoholism. Same thing. I guess that is the same thing said a different way. Those who overeat, oversex, overgamble, over drama, over fear, suicidal thoughts, mental health, whatever it is that's got you down, there is one who has all power. That one is God. May you find him now. This hour is dedicated to those who are looking for a solution, who may be overwhelmed by the reality they are experiencing right here, right now. And there is a way out. For an hour, we can just hide out together and be okay with it all. We're just going to be okay with it all. And with that said, let's open up with the Serenity Prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Sober Wednesday. Well, you're at the right place, Ben. The only requirement is really a desire to stop doing what you're doing, dude. Just because you're doing what you're doing doesn't mean that you're unwelcome here. We're just trying to find a way through this trippy reality we are all sharing. As a alcoholic coming on almost 14 years of sobriety, I drugged, I drank, I failed, I madnessed, I won, I showed up to work on time, I underachieved, I overachieved. Ultimately, like, it all just came crashing down into a big, like, what next? What now? I just want to stop drinking. I just want to stop drinking, man. So, I'm not really sure on one level how you do that, except get thoroughly honest with yourself and want to make the change, right? So, how did I do that is laid out. How I did that is it's laid out in chapter 5, how it works of the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. This is not an AA program or affiliated with AA in any way, but this alcoholic does not choose to remain anonymous for I just don't choose to do that anymore. I don't see the point. Times are dire right now. It's a do or die scenario in the game of life. So with that said, I will read how it works from chapter 5. Rarely have we seen a person fail who has thoroughly followed our path. Those who do not recover are people who cannot or will not completely give themselves to the simple program. Usually men and women who are constitutionally incapable of being honest with themselves. There are such unfortunates. They're not at fault. They seem to have been born that way. They are naturally incapable of grasping and developing a manner of living which demands rigorous honesty. Their chances are less than average. There are those too who suffer from grave emotional mental disorders, but many of them do recover if they have the capacity to be honest. Our stories disclose in a general way what we used to be like, what happened, and what we are like now. If you have decided you want what we have and are willing to go to any length to get it, then you're ready to take certain steps. At some of these we balked. We thought we could find an easier, softer way, but we could not. With all the earnestness at our command, we beg of you to be fearless and thorough from the very start. Some of us have tried to hold on to our old ideas, and the result was nil till we let go absolutely. Remember, and we deal with alcohol, cunning, baffling, powerful. Without help, it is too much for us, but there is one who has all power. That one is God. May you find him now. Half measures availed us nothing. We stood at the turning point. We asked his protection and care with complete abandon. Here are the steps we took, which are suggested as a program of recovery. 1, we admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. 2, came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. 3, made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood him. 4, made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. 5, admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. 6, we're entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character. 7, humbly asked him to remove our shortcomings. 8, made a list of all persons we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. 9, made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. 10, continued to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. 11, sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood and praying only for knowledge of his will for us and the power to carry that out. 12, having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we tried to carry this message to alcoholics and practice these principles in all of our affairs. Many of us exclaimed, "What an order! I can't go through with it." Do not be discouraged. No one among us has been able to maintain anything like perfect adherence to these principles. We are not saints. The point is that we're willing to grow along spiritual lines. The principles we have set down are guides to progress. We claim spiritual progress rather than spiritual perfection. Our description of the alcoholic and our chapter to the agnostic and our ventures before and after make clear 3 pertinent ideas. A, that we were alcoholic and could not manage our own lives. B, that probably no human power could have relieved our alcoholism. And C, that God could and would if you were sought. Yo! Hoo! Yeah! Here we are. How's the signal? We have good connectivity. How's the audio? The wind's kind of blowing around a little bit, so I'm not sure if we've got proper audio, so I'll do a reality check. Not great. What's not great? The signal? We got funky video. Not great. Glitchy. Yeah. What do you? Oh wait, I know what it. That'll help, dude. I switched off the internet. Right? Is that better? Do we have better? Are we clear? It seems clear. It seems clear. Well, it's not a much better, right? Way clear. Yeah, it's interesting. Using the internet here is no good. Better. Yeah, it's funny, dude. Just switch it. I don't even know why I have internet anymore, dude. At this point, not really sure. I guess I need the Wi-Fi and stuff for some of my other components, like my printer. Hey, what are you guys doing, dude? Whoa. Yeah. Working on your 4-step. That's the key to it all, dude. Get in there and download that to God and another person, man. That's the one that's the fearless and searching moral inventory is the key to it all, man, because that's when you get to like really discover the common denominator to the whole thing, right? So yeah, do it. do it. Just complete the 4th step, man, because you already turned your will and your life over to the care of God as you understand them. So that's important. So how we all doing out there? What are we getting into on Sober Wednesday today, dude? What is the looking for those promises, man? Well, before we were halfway through, they start showing, dude. Before we are halfway through. Planner boxes, that's a good focus. Well, that's again, it's a program of actions, right? Like you gotta keep moving forward, or you'll just end up going backward. Absolute surrender, absolutely. The surrender is the key to the whole gig. Whoa, dude! I just saw a nail. Don't want my little buddy stepping on the nail. Gotta surrender, man. Well, that's the interesting thing, man. Is the surrender. The surrender is where the winning begins, dude. Counterintuitive, right? Counterintuitive to the whole thing. The surrender. You know, when you're ready to surrender, you will surrender, dude. That's the unfortunate glitch to the whole thing. Like, if you don't want to get sober, you definitely won't. Like, you might say you want. That's again the whole thing. It's a program of thorough honesty, right? You can pretend you want to get sober, but if you don't really, truly, deep down have had enough, you're probably just going to end up wasting a bunch of time. But, you know, I guess it's worth getting in the ring and giving it a swing and then going and doing some more experimenting as opposed to not doing it. You know, it is definitely the easier, softer way to, what's up, bud? The easier, softer way. Is there an easier, softer way? No, there's not, dude. Life is radical. Boom, dude. Life is radical. Oh, so radical. Let me see. I've got some glare going on. It makes it hard to read the thing. All right, what do we got? Is that better? There we go. That's better. Let's see. Does it glare out? All right. Wait. Then we lose the. Where's the? Make sure you guys get the goats. There they are. When they do their trickery, it's hard out there. I don't know, man. It's as hard as you want it to be. It's definitely as hard as you want it to be. You know, I've been having a what's going on? I've been having a good run of just like surrendering to things lately, and that's where I've found the victory. So like the other day, I was rewiring something in the garage, and I fully glitched out the electric panel and had to chase it down, and you know, it was like one of those things. Like normally that would have like kind of spun me out, dude. But I think up here, because there's no other option except to figure it out, right? Like there's no other option to figure out. There's no one to call, and I think it's a good metaphor for sobriety is you gotta surrender and kind of do the work on it, right? So I jammed out, blown out the electric. It was a whole thing. And so normally I think I would have gotten sort of like uptight and frustrated about it, but I didn't. I was like, all right, it is what it is. Like opportunity to learn. So it took me like 24 hours. Like it was a 24-hour run to like figure out how to get this power situation fixed, right? And I had to go into the panel, the big panel, and deal with the panel, which was kind of intimidating at first. And ultimately, I discovered my panel was sort of crummy, and I needed to get a new panel. So I called up my solar guy, and I got there just in time before the permits went through with the county to like get a panel added to the whole thing. And so I go through this whole process, right? I got to make a couple trips over across the lake to the hardware store. And, you know, it's this whole thing. It's like I had a plan. It was right there. Like literally I'd rewired this thing and I pushed it into the box. Like I'd flipped everything. It was all working and I shorted it out, right? And when that happened, instead of tripping on it, I was like, all right, like, I'm going to have to figure it out, man. And ultimately, what I've found out was there was an electrical plug hidden, like way, like I have my garage all stacked just to the rafters, and there's like a plug, and I was like, the last thing it could be is somewhere behind that stack of boxes is a plug of some kind, because I was tracking it down with my digital multimeter and the whole thing, and I was like, I don't know what it is, except there must be a plug with a GFI on it in the garage. Generally, there's not GFI plugs in garages, so they're usually in bathrooms and kitchens. So, sure enough, man, I had to like move all these boxes, and there it was, behind there was this plug. So I spent 24 hours basically not taking the easy route, right? I didn't take the easy route. I took the hard, long journey, but on the way, I got to learn a bunch of stuff. Like I got to learn about my electric panel. I got to realize I didn't have to be as intimidated as I thought I was about it. Like I actually like replaced a 20 amp breaker on my panel. I realized my panel was garbage and I needed to get a new one. And I literally got to my solar guy like within 24 hours of the permits being submitted, right? Which allowed the whole thing to work out perfectly. So if I hadn't made this one mistake, which all I did was when I was pushing the wires back in, I rubbed the plastic off and I tripped it and I popped the GFI, right? And the GFI, if you don't know, is a plug with a breaker in it. So if it gets water in it, it won't short out the whole system. Come on, you guys. The goats are on a tear, dude. Wait, what are you guys doing? Hey. No. The goats are on a tear, man. So anyway, so it was this thing where if I'd taken the easier route, none of the good stuff would have happened. As I guess ultimately, I'm doing my Sober Wednesday.
Hey, Daddy.
Yeah, what's up, bud?
Sissy's making trouble.
What do you mean?
She's like, I want $20. And I'm like, dude, just call Mom up and be like, and just tell Georgie like that I'm not gonna send you $20, and I'm not gonna like play your game. And Mom's like, no, I don't want to do that. It's super weird. I'm like, just just call her. It's no big deal. It's not like you're like 7 years old and you don't have a phone, dude.
Who's 7 years old without a phone?
Mom acted like she's 7 years God without a phone. It's some like weird thing that she does. So whenever you're done with your live stream, can you come talk to her?
Okay, you got it.
That
All right.
like,
All right.
just, and you should be like, and then, but you don't call her. Just try to like tell Mom that like, and I'll kind of involved too. Okay? Just
all
whenever
right.
you're done.
All right.
I'm not forcing you to do it right now. 'Cause I know you're
All right. All right. What? What? Hey, Al, will you go give the goats their grain and put them in their thing, dude? What? All right. Well, why don't you give them their grain, their treaters, and well, they're gonna end up following you maybe. Well, just scamper out of here then. Go, run, bye, go, hurry. Scamper, scamper. They won't follow you. Don't follow them. They are on one, those goats. Hold on. Racing goats, huh? We got racing goats. So anyway, the point being is these problems that we get in life are opportunities to learn something bigger of ourselves. And that's not the alcoholic condition. That's not the addict's state of mind. The addict's state of mind is this sucks and I need something to alleviate the pain of the situation. I just want this to go away. And I think where I've grown up a little bit in this thing is like I sat and I was like, I'm not gonna, like, it's not gonna go away until I fully surrendered to the situation. And surrendering to the situation allowed this greater information and solution to arrive that I didn't even know at the beginning of the thing. And I think that that's where it is, like at the beginning of sobriety, right? You just want to stop drinking or drugging or crashing cars or sleeping with gross people or doing whatever it is you do, right? Whatever it is that's got you separated from God, right? And so you don't have some big lofty goal of like, I want to get all like spiritually like super tuned and down with God and this and that and blah blah blah. It's sort of this situation where you realize that that's all you really wanted out of the thing. Come here, you guys. That all you really wanted out of this thing was to stop drinking, right? You just didn't want to drink anymore. That's all I signed up for. I just didn't want to drink anymore, man. And then along the way, you realize that you get this whole new life, right? And this whole new life is crazier and more wild than you ever had imagined to begin with, right? Like, if I look at the guy who asked for help in front of the liquor store, man, I wasn't signing up for anything except I just didn't want to be miserable one more day, right? I didn't sign up for goats. I didn't sign up for a wife and kids and ranches and surfing. And none of that was on my mind. I just didn't want to drink anymore, right? And so I like, if you're new to the thing and you're just at the jumping off point of getting sober, or you're at the beginning of your journey of sobriety, what I will tell you is you can't really possibly perceive what life has in store for you or God has in store for you because your mental faculties in the beginning are so lowball. Like you really do just are willing to just settle for the suck. In the beginning, you're willing to settle for the suck, dude. And so when you get sober, you're like, if you put a bunch of expectations of like, oh, it's got to look this way, it's got to be that, and I want this and I want that, like, that's sort of where you get jammed up because all that stuff you think you want in the beginning, you don't ultimately want because those are based upon like your loaded brainwaves. Like your loaded brainwaves are what's jamming you up, man. And your loaded brainwaves see the world a certain way and this reality in a certain way and God a certain way and you yourself a certain way. And so when you're like in the beginning, like you have to make room to realize that you're going to have to go on this journey and the journey's going to be difficult. But if you allow the journey to occur, you're going to find out that you need a new breaker panel along the way and that you just barely got it in time before the order would have passed. You need to learn that you can do these things, that you can open up this electrical panel and you can do work on it, that you have the ability to research this information, that you have the ability to do all these things that you didn't think you could do. But the point of the thing is being able to sit there for a moment and be like, I don't know. That's the only way that I got this far into like sobriety. God, look at the background, man. That is wild, dude. Is going, I don't know. And that's the thing is if you still think you got ideas on how to run the show, you're just gonna end up getting loaded again, man. And it's not like you gotta join a cult. Like, oh, I gotta join the AA cult, like, or sober cult or some weird stuff like that. It's really just going, all right, I don't know anything. I really don't know anything because everything that I knew got me to the point where I'm miserable, right? Like that's sort of the journey you go on. Like pre-sobriety, post-sobriety is like you go on this journey thinking you know what you want for yourself, what you want out of life, blah, blah, blah. And then it starts failing because you're not getting what you want out of life. So you're fixing it with drugs and alcohol and all of these things and bad relationships and smash cars and appointments with the sheriff and all that kind of stuff, right? And so everything that you thought you knew about reality and life and God and spaceship Earth and relationships and friends ultimately leads you to the point where all you want to do is get sober, right? We're like, you got nowhere else to go but sober. You've hit the bottom, right? And what I think jams up a lot of people is the fact that they still want to try to run the show, man. Don't try to run the show, dude. Trying to run the show will jam you up, man. It says right here. Some of us have tried to hold on to our old ideas, and the result was nil until we let go absolutely. That's the thing. Like, our old ideas are what got us here. Like, you got to be ready for new ideas. It's sort of like clean the closet out so you can put a new wardrobe in, dude. And So I had a pretty profound experience, maybe a year and a half into this thing. I don't know. I was, and I've talked to the story again, but it just illustrates perfectly what it is. I used to hand write everything, like in notebooks and journals, like blank page notebooks, and do art and all my stuff. Write short stories and poems and all that stuff, and keep journaling and do journaling and stuff. So I had a lot of time in the beginning to focus on some of this stuff. So I was focusing in on typing out or entering one of my longhand form journals into the laptop, and I was doing about 5 years prior, and I'm typing, I'm reading what I've been writing, and I'm typing, and it's me 5 years earlier, keeping track of how much I'm drinking, talking about how I don't want to drink anymore, how I don't want to be stoned anymore, I'm stuck, and this and that, and it's this whole thing, and I get to it. I'm doing it for about a month. I'm into it about a month, dude. Doing a couple pages a day. I get about a month into it, and I know this guy. It's me from the past. It's the ghost of Christmas past, and I'm sitting there, and it hits me I go, that dude's got 5 more years to suffer. That dude's gonna drink for another 5 years. That dude's gonna end up on I know where I was, and I know where I still have to go. And I'm like, wow, that's a long road ahead for this dude. And I'm like, why does this dude, he knows what I know right now. I don't want to drink. I don't want to use drugs anymore, but he can't. Why can't he stop? He's talking about stopping and this and that. And then it dawns on me. I see it in my own words as I'm writing. I still am not ready to give up my mental control over it, dude. I'm absolutely think that I can think my way out of this thing. If I just write enough, if I just do this, I'm writing it out and I'm reading it, but I don't get how I'm sober now. That's where I'm at. I'm reading from 5 years in the past. I'm about a year sober. I'm like, how did I do this? And then it dawns on me, the only way that I got sober was I stopped thinking I had any thoughts that were valuable, dude, right? And it's not that I was oh, I'm dumb and I'm an idiot or any of that. It was just that this noise inside of my head ceased to communicate with me. And that was the moment where I was new input was able to come forward. It wasn't until I was able to be I don't have any ideas, dude. I'm all out of ideas, dude. And that was the surrender. But the surrender was, I don't have any new ideas here. Nothing's going on. And so when that happened, Far Out Aliens, thank you, dude. Nice emoji, race quit. And it was then, and what I understood, and as I grew, I understood something that I didn't know then is there's me, spiritual me, God's representative, the creation of God, the spiritual me, the true me. And then there's the imposter, the doppelganger, the faker, my thoughts that all day long hijack me because they know me. All my thoughts that's why it's cunning, baffling, and powerful. That's why, if you've gotten sober, that's why it's risky pool to go back into the mono thought, right? Because once you do the thing where you get separated from your thought life, from your spiritual life, and you're who is this dude doing all the thinking? When you observe your thoughts, when you truly sit back and observe your thoughts and be who is that guy talking inside of my head? Who is that? Most people go insane because they don't have a solution, and then they get diagnosed and put on drugs, right? But if you truly get to what mental health is these people aren't crazy. They just didn't hide it with drugs and alcohol, or maybe they did that too. But What I'm getting at is part of the journey of getting sober is separating your mind, right? Your spiritual soul mind from your self-talking delusional mind. Right? And that self-talking delusional mind in the beginning, I want Maseratis and like hoes and, stacks of cash and, houses on the beach. And I want to go to the gym. I want to do all this stuff. Like it'll talk you right back into the bottle again, because in the beginning, like you're not competent enough to pull any of that off anyhow. Like, yeah, you might be able to like pull it off, but can you stay there? Right? Like that's the gig. So it's that thing is like, it's why it's recommended not to get in a relationship there's nothing in the book about it if you're an AA purist, but it's recommended not to get in a relationship in a year because you're going to pick anyone. Look, I'm going to just give a piece of advice out there. If you're newly sober, anyone who would date you or have a relationship with you is more fucked up than you are, dude. Put it that way. Because in the beginning, you're not worthy of being dated. You're anyone, like that's what you have to realize. If you're in your beginning of sobriety, you're not worthwhile to be dated because you're not even worthwhile hanging out with yourself at that, because odds are you haven't done the work on yourself and figured out that like you are your own problem, dude. So, you can go around and get involved with someone, dude, but watch out for hand grenades and buzzsaws, dude, because that's what you're going to get. And if you're not spiritually fit enough to handle that, you're probably going to end up drinking because, I'll tell you the story. I can tell you the story about the hand grenade all day long. Hand grenades, dude. When you really realize how sick you are, dude. When you realize how sick you are. I remember I used to go to meetings like 3 times all day, every day, like just in the beginning, right? And, I was also looking for love, dude. Yeah, she's hot, right? And I'm doing a lot. I have one of those. My spiritual advisor was no BS kind of guy, dude. He's like, dude, any chick that would date you's a loser. I remember he was the dude who told me that first. He's like, any chick that would date you is a loser, bro. And I was like, oh, that stings. But it was the truth. In the truth, I would, dude. And so I was sitting there at this meeting, right? And he's like, you got a broken picker, dude, too. He's like, you'll pick the most damaged woman in the room, dude. You will pick the one with the most problems who will destroy you, dude. And so, yeah, Mike's sitting in heaven, like kicking it, dude, with God right now, just catching mouse. And so a broken picker. And so I was sitting at this meeting, right? And there was this girl, and I'd seen her a bunch, like, and I was like, oh, she's hot, dude, She fit my like what I like, right? And so I was like, oh, she's hot, dude. Like she's the one. And she was sharing, right? She was sharing, and she was like sharing about how her previous boyfriend had overdosed and died and this and that, and her present boyfriend was like in jail for beating her up and this and that. And I remember, because I was working on separating the self-talking mind from spiritual self, so I would observe my thoughts. And I watched my temporal being, like literally like in my chair, like move forward and look over and be like, she's the one. Like literally, like I was like, yeah, dude, she's got two, like one's dead and the other's in jail. Like, oh, dude, she's a winner, dude. I want her. Like, that's the best I could do for myself. She's pretty, dude. She was super hot. But, like, dude, I still didn't have the ability to understand that the skin suit is just a skin suit. It's what's inside, right? So that was my wake-up call. when I realized what a sick dude I was, and that I would pick the most damaged girl in the room, that if you put 10 identical women, I will pick the sickest, craziest, most demented one in the bunch back in my first year of sobriety, right? Once I realized that at that very moment, and I was like, oh, because I'd already been through the hand grenade at that point and the whole thing. So I shut it all down. I was like, I'm not getting involved with anyone. And I spent like, and that was back when I was like, that was when I would sit on my little like stoop smoking my American spirits going, oh God, if you truly like cared about me, you wouldn't want me to be alone. God loved me so much that he made me be alone for a couple years, right? So I sat alone for 2-3 years, man. Just working on myself, doing my art. It's all on YouTube, dude. Just go to my early YouTube. That's Loner Dude. And I talk about it like it wasn't easy. It was super sucky, dude. And but it got to a point where I was living with my buddy who was like Mr. Suave Rico, most eligible bachelor dude, and I was like living with him in his like bachelor pad. And he would come over, I would be doing my art, man. That's really when I was tuned into doing my art, and I was making a lot. I got to get back to my art, man. I got to get these projects done. But it's the journey, right? And so I remember he used to bring over like all these models and like girls, like, he was that kind of dude. He would come back with like extras, dude. He'd bring one home for himself, one or two, or however many he was bringing home for himself. And there'd always be like extras, dude. And I'd be up there doing my art, and he'd be like, and I'd be like, no, I'm good, dude. And he would be, and I remember we were sitting down, he's like, we were talking one day, he's like, what's up, dude? Like, I keep bringing over all these like hot chicks for you. And I go, dude, what would I do with one of them? He's like, what do you mean? Like, what would you do? Like get down with them? I go, dude, I don't need any trouble right now. I don't need that. I don't need a relationship. I don't want to have to call anyone back. I don't want to have to talk to anyone about it. I would sure, like, I get it. But that's when I had the epiphany of like, oh my God, like I made it. Like I can hang out by myself. Like I can kick it with myself. Like the greatest gift I got in sobriety by doing the work was I can kick it by myself and not need, I need another person to like satisfy me. All that. I just gonna pick anyone off the used car lot of people and like, yeah, you're the one, dude. And so it was like, that's when my life began to like swing around. What's going on, Ruben from New Zealand? That's all I got from that thing. And it was like, that was like kind of the golden period of like sobriety for Will, because I was solo, I was way into my art, I was going to Chile, I was traveling around, and then I started bumping into the hologram, and I was like super not, I'm like, I'm good, dude. And she's like, dude. And I was like, yeah. And, we did our thing for like a year and a half, floating around, not whatever, just mind our own business. And then all of a sudden it was time. It was on. And then next thing you know, I got a kid. And next thing you know, I'm up here and sitting on my ranch, dude. Like, I don't know. But none of it was anything that I was like at the beginning would have, like, this was not in my playbook, I guess is what I'm saying. Like, the dude who gets sober is not like getting sober putting this on his wish list, dude. The dude who's getting sober is like, I just need some broken down model, dude, that'll thrash me, dude, and let's go surfing. Like that's early sobriety guy. Early sobriety guy was like doing this, doing the work, doing the whole thing, but like, and you know what? The long journey is where I learned all the things that I needed to learn about myself, right? And I'm still learning stuff every day, man, about myself. I still get uptight. I still got a lame temper, dude. I'm still an asshole. I can be a total dick. I'm like, you know, those are just my character defects. Like I do my best to have God intervene and remove those, but like, you know, so it's this thing. Oh well, Duncan Gray, what am I gonna do, dude? It's June for me, all right. So how old was the one I got sober at 40? 40 I got sober. So I guess what I'm getting at is it's a journey, dude. So you got to cut yourself some. That's why we like you and Legos, dude. And no, I get it, Duncan. Thank you. I'll change that when I get done. For some reason, they're like these weird sober time capsules. Yeah, it's the daily struggle, dude. Like, look, Monday I woke up screwed. Like Monday I woke up screwed in a bad mood. Yeah, could be. That's a good guess, Duncan. It's that kind. It could be. I sometimes that's the beauty of it all, right? Now I'm still in California, but it's that thing, right, where I woke up Monday frazzled all Monday. Came and went. This and that. What was yesterday? Tuesday was a pretty good day, and I still ended it with a fail, dude. I was kind of hassling my wife about something right at the buzzer, dude. We woke up today. We've had a great day today. Dude. Oh yeah, Tuesday I had to go pick up Owl down. He got like kicked out of swim camp, like junior lifeguard camp for the day because he wouldn't put on his life vest to do the river thing, dude. So, you know, like I took all that in stride, dude. So, you know, if stuff comes out sideways, man. So, and all that from Monday was the beginning of the electrical problem. Monday through Tuesday, right? So it's just like that whole thing. And I guess what I'm getting at is if I've learned anything in 13 and a half years of sobriety, is I don't know anything, man. I don't know anything, dude. Discord, I don't even know what Discord is, dude. And that's a good place to be because that allows me to get knowledge, right? If I thought, you're right on, Dazzer. Stoked you're out there, my brother. If I thought that I knew anything the other day with this electrical situation, at a certain point, I wouldn't have gotten through it. The fact that I was willing to be like, I don't know what the heck's going on, dude. I ran into a dude who works over at the Ace Hardware or whatever, and I was looking for the plates, the nailer plates to block the, you know, you put on the studs. I forget what they're called, dotty plates or whatever. And I was talking to like, do you got it? He's like, nah, I used them all for a job. Like, and I was like, I think that dude's I literally drove over to look for this dude that mentioned that he does electrical to go find him and be like, hey, bro, I need some help. Like you do understand, like the dude who got here 14 years ago would have never asked anyone for help. I would have sat there and like started smashing that thing with the baseball bat 14 years ago. With an aluminum baseball bat and would have killed myself, right? But now I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I'd literally walk into the store and be like, hey man, like I don't even know what I'm asking for. And the dude fully helped me out. But like that's it, like I'm way past being Discord. I don't even know what Discord. I'm over apps and all that stuff, dude. I don't care. I barely can slide in here and Discord would be tight. I don't know. It's like you're saying it would be tight. I have no idea what it is, dude. And I don't care. Discord. It's just another thing to like email me and one more app that I just get super frustrated with, dude. Discord is like a chat room. No thanks, dude. There's a Telegram chat that they got going. I don't want to be in a chat room. This is the chat room. You get it, right? Like, this is it. This is the chat room. If you want to set up your own chat room with the people from this chat room, you can go set up that chat room, dude. There's a Telegram group, dude. There's a high frequency tribe Telegram group. You can chat away, dude. I'm not Lord Pokeball. Yeah, it's all good, dude. You know, I'm one of those, dude. I'm an open source kind of guy, dude. Just don't use my name to hurt anyone, dude. That's all I ask, dude. At this late stage sobriety, dude, or mid stage sobriety, dude. I'm mid stage sobriety, dude. Surfer Discord is for influencer. It's more fun going Lizard live. Yeah, dude. I hate typing. I got this. Again, sobriety, right? So I like one of the big giant things that I suck at this game is like emails, right? People send me a lot of emails, and I do my very best to get back to them, but like, I used to be a writer. You have to understand, pre-sobriety, I used to be a writer. Like, I've written a novel. Like, I used to be all about writing, dude. I was all about it, dude. I don't write anymore. I have no desire to pick up a pen. I have no desire to type things. I hate typing, dude. And I hate typing like this even more. So I get emails. So I got this dude he's got goats. He's doing the homesteading thing. He emailed me. And I'm feeling bad, like I'm feeling guilty, right? And then he sends me like a donation. I'm like, oh, I got to email him back now because he just went ahead and did it. And he was like emailing me to see what the links were. He figured them out. Then he emailed me again, all mellow, super like rad, positive shit. And I was like, and I'm sitting there and like it was like this burr in the side of my mind for like 2 weeks. Like, this dude. And every day I would just like, it's like the whole thing is like, I'm like, I wake up, I'm like, all right, I got to do these emails with like on this and that. And I love reading the emails and the whole thing, but like replying to them is like this like trudge, dude. Like and it's not because I don't want to or it's inconvenient. It's just that like this is not, and to go get in the laptop mode is just another beast, right? And so it's this thing, right? And it like, and so I fully just called this dude. He had a phone number on there. I called this dude. He was like, he was sort of like how I feel when someone calls me out of the blue. I'm like, hey, yeah, because you know, I like to get mentally ready if we're having a phone call. And so I took the shortcut. Was it so my brother out there who I called, I hope I didn't bug you, dude. It was just one of those things where I was like, I got to get back to this dude. And I don't have time to email. I was like it's like Zoom and Telegram. It's like a nerds group chat where your channel can have Zoom like calls. Yeah. No, the email things, it's like, I do try to get back, and I feel bad every time I do, dude. It's like, it's a whole thing. But that's where I got to make my daily amends, and where I still blunder, like, sober way. Yeah. We're native of the land. We're just getting through. But so that's the thing. So on that note, I'm gonna get going because I gotta go eat dinner, and I think there was some sort of situation going on with the one of the kids and whatever, and I probably need to go handle that. So look, If Kimmy can throw up the Canadian suicide prevention number, and I think Austin, you've been throwing up the USA one. I think the Canadian one is, I want to say it's 833-456-4566, but when's the last time I surfed? Beginning of the year, probably, dude. I ain't even worried about it. I got a new suit. I got my boards. We're all ready to rock and roll. Sometime with Tyler, dude. But 988lifeline.org. EL's given that as a suicide prevention number. Or is it 833? Okay, 1-800-273-TALK. Isaiah Approach. Thank you. 1-800-273-TALK is the United States suicide prevention number. 1-800-273-TALK. And then the Canadian suicide number. I got it right. 1-833-456-4566. 1-833-456-4566. Look, your life's important, man. Like literally, dude, I'd way rather have you drink tonight than kill yourself. But drinking tonight might get you to kill yourself too. So, look, your life's important. Whatever's going on, you can literally pick up the phone and call. The people on these suicide prevention lines are not shills. They are absolutely there to be of service and to help. If you're in the United States of America or any kind of Western nation, you can probably get a hold of an AA central office in your community. Just type in AA central office. There's usually a phone number, a list of meetings, and you can get a hold of someone like me and talk to them and get sober, dude. So whatever's going on, please ask for help. It's super positive. I can hear the fam. With that said, serenity prayer on the way out the door. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Thank you for spending this hour with me. I need it as much as anybody. God has blessed us all. Good night, and be safe, and your life is valuable, so use those numbers that were listed above. Good night.